It's no secret that US Navy submarines are patrolling the waters where Russia's submarine fleet based on the Kola Peninsula sails out to the Barents Sea and the Norwegian Sea. But it's not frequently announced which submarines are in the area and when they surface. At a cost of nearly $3 billion per vessel, just 3 submarines of the Seawolf class were built out of the originally planned fleet of 29. Too expensive, but also the most advanced and powerful attack sub in the US Navy. USS Seawolf is based at Bangor Naval Base on the west coast of the United States and normally sails the Pacific. Before starting the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. But on Friday, the nuclear-powered submarine suddenly came to the surface outside Tromsø in northern Norway. A Russian analyst has warned that the United States could see his country's Navy surface a submarine off its coast after the guided missile destroyer USS McCampbell was sent into the Russian-claimed waters on Wednesday. Our submarines, too, might have surfaced suddenly someplace in the Gulf of Mexico to shock America. Igor Korotchenko, editor-in-chief of Russia's National Defense magazine, told Russia's TASS news agency. "We have the corresponding forces of our submarine fleet there," the defense expert warned. Korotchenko argued that Moscow did not wish to show off in such a silly way, choosing instead to deal with assigned tasks, adding that Washington's attempts to intimidate Moscow were useless and senseless. The presence of Russian military assets in the war games caused a stir for US commercial fishing vessels in the Bering Sea on Wednesday, the US Coast Guard said. "We were notified by multiple fishing vessels that were operating out the Bering Sea that they had come across these vessels and were concerned. So they contacted us," Coast Guard spokesman Kip Wadlow said earlier Thursday. The Coast Guard contacted the Alaskan Command at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, which confirmed the ships were there as part of a pre-planned Russian military exercise that was known to some US military officials, Wadlow said. Wadlow did not have information about the scope of the exercise or how many Russian vessels were involved, referring those questions to the Alaskan Command. Officials at the Anchorage base referred questions to Air Force officials at the U.S. Northern Command. U.S. officials said that the submarine was taking part in a Russian military exercise. A Russian state media report in Russian on the exercise said that the submarine Omsk fired a cruise missile at a target in the Bering Sea, which is between Siberia and Alaska. The circumstances of the surfacing are unclear. It's not normal for submarines to come to the surface near another country's coast. US Northcom statements on Twitter raise questions as to whether something is wrong. "We have not received any request for assistance from the Russian Navy or other mariners in the area. We always stand ready to assist those in distress. This may imply that there's an emergency aboard, which the US Navy is aware of." Omsk is a Project 949A anti-class cruise missile submarine, more commonly known by its NATO reporting name Oscar II class. It's primarily armed with 24 P700 Granite, NATO designation SSN-19 shipwreck anti-ship missiles. These have a range of nearly 400 miles and can travel at supersonic speeds. Their 1,653-pound warhead is much larger than on regular anti-ship missiles like the Harpoon and Exocet. It can also carry a 500-kiloton nuclear warhead. Footage of the exercise published by the official Russian Ministry of Defense Twitter account in Russian shows a massive P700 Granite emerging from the sea. The US Navy cited freedom of navigation to justify the operation, which was carried out in the Sea of Japan. In a statement, the Navy said that the maneuver was a way to challenge Russia's excessive maritime claims and uphold the rights, freedoms, and lawful uses of the sea enjoyed by the United States and other nations, NBC News reported. Tensions remain high between Moscow and Washington and have escalated further since last week when Russia captured 3 Ukrainian ships and 24 Ukrainian sailors in the Sea of Azov. Following the incident, Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, demanded that the Kremlin immediately cease its unlawful conduct and respect the navigational rights and freedoms of all states. President Donald Trump then canceled the planned summit with Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, citing the Ukrainian crisis. It's only a few hours voyages to the important Bear Gap where Russian submarines dive into the deeper Norwegian Sea. This area is important for NATO, trying to keep track of potential enemy subs in the line between the North Cape via the Bear Island to the southern tip of Spitsbergen. From the rather shallow Barents Sea to the deeper Norwegian Sea in the North Atlantic, where submarines are more difficult to track. The USS Seawolf was designed in the late Cold War days to dive deeper than others and aimed at counter-ballistic missile subs sailing out from the Kola Peninsula. The submarine is armed with 8 torpedo tubes and can hold up to 50 weapons in its torpedo room, including the Tomahawk cruise missile. Defense analyst Frank Botema, who uses open-source intelligence to track maritime movements, has also identified a likely Kilo-class submarine involved in the exercises. This is a smaller non-nuclear submarine. It was with a group of Russian Navy warships about 66 miles west of St. Lawrence Island. A large vessel, closely matching the appearance of a Russian Typhoon-class submarine, can be seen in low-resolution satellite imagery, analysis of AIS, automated identification system. The broadcasts used by ships to alert others of their presence to avoid collisions suggests that it is the academic passion. This is a Russian Navy replenishment ship. However, the visual picture in the satellite imagery does not match. Trump had previously threatened to remove the US from the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, which was signed by former President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, accusing Russia of violating the agreement's terms. NATO has also backed up the White House, issuing a stern rebuke of Russia. The Kremlin has pushed back, threatening to target European NATO allies and partners if more US missiles are stationed within their borders. The 108 meters, 353-foot-long vessel is powered by a single nuclear reactor delivering 45,000 horsepower, 34 megawatt. She has a crew of 14 officers, 126 enlisted. Now, the USS Seawolf is deployed to the US 6th Fleet, which is in charge of American naval operations in Europe and Africa. Announcing the surfacing outside Tromsø, commander of the submarine forces, Vice Admiral Daryl Cowdell, said USS Seawolf demonstrates the global reach of the undersea forces and its unique readiness to execute worldwide and unrivaled readiness. Our undersea warriors are the best in the world in submarine warfare and are equipped with unmatched capabilities designed to enhance our Navy and multiply the joint forces' effectiveness in competition and conflict, Cowdell said in the statement. Korotchenko's warning of Russian submarines surfacing off the US coast echoed a similar pledge made by American rival Iran late last year. The Islamic Republic's Naval Commander Rear Admiral Hossein Khanzadi said that sailing in open waters between Europe and Americas should be the Navy's goal, pledging that his ambitions would be achieved soon. Russia has voiced concerns about NATO submarines making port calls to Tromsø. There are more and more examples of Norway's active participation in the implementation of NATO's plans to increase the alliance's presence in the Arctic region, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said, as reported by the Barents Observer. Simultaneously as the fast attack submarine surfaced near Tromsø, 6 US B-52 long-range bombers came south from the Arctic in the airspace outside Tromsø en route from North Dakota to England. Norwegian F-16 from Bodo Air Base was flying in formation with the huge American bombers across the Norwegian Sea. The Barents Observer has previously reported about the increased presence of American submarines in Norwegian waters in 2018, said to be inshore 3 to 4 times monthly. The majority were in the north, 3 times more, Navy Captain Per Thomas Boe with the Ministry of Defense in Oslo said. It looks like a very large Russian Typhoon-class submarine. This is the largest submarine in the world and has a distinctive shape. Only one Typhoon remains in service, TK-208 Dmitry Donskoy. It will also have sailed close to where the US Navy submarine USS Seawolf cropped up this week, so its identity will not be a mystery to NATO forces in the area. As is often the case in the secretive world of submarine operations, we don't yet have the full picture. The circumstances surrounding the surface submarine off Alaska are still ambiguous. It may be in trouble of some kind, and the vessel of interest off Norway may not turn out to be a surface submarine. There are still verification efforts going on, but it certainly looks like one in the imagery. How or if they are connected is even harder to judge.